My younger self, what's your story?
To my younger self, what's your story?
To my younger self.
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 To my younger self, what's your story? To my younger self, what's your story?
Well, hello and good morning. How are you doing? Today is March 7th and my name is Zoe Baraka. Thank you so much for joining us on the greatest show on earth. That's what we like to call ourselves, the greatest show on earth. Good morning. And of course, wherever you are in the world, we just want to say thank you for joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night for those of you who are preparing to go to sleep. Before we jump in, you're welcome. You're welcome. Do me a big favor. Go into the comment section and just greet me. Say something to me. And then after you do that, I want you to kind of hit the share button and share, okay? We welcome you, our Twitter viewers. We welcome you, our YouTube viewers. We welcome you wherever you're watching us. We are working very, very hard to try to get us live on LinkedIn, and it's going to happen very, very soon. Thank you so very much for joining us. Let's see who is in the room already. Professor, it is so good to see you. Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Exactly, elevating the levels, right? Blessings to you, our past guest storyteller, Nadayate. My goodness, you blew us out of the water. Thank you so much for joining us, my dear. It is so good to see you. Auntie Araba, oh my God. It is so good to see you. Thank you for always watching us on YouTube. And of course, all of our YouTube viewers, we want to say thank you for joining us. Oh no, you have to leave? But I'm very sad. That's not good. We need you in the room, Professor, but thank you for stopping by. God bless you. God bless you. All righty. Let us go and kind of just greet each other in different dialects like we always do. Yesterday was Ghana's Independence Day. Okay, we are 66 years old. Now, I don't know, as a Christian Pan-Africanist, I just coined a certain belief system right there. As a Christian Pan-Africanist, I don't know whether to laugh, be happy, be joyous, or cry and lament. But Ghana has life. There's still blood in our veins. There's people that are aiming high for Ghana and doing incredible things. So I think we're just going to laugh and rejoice. So happy Independence Day, or happy belated Independence Day. In fact, the whole of March is Ghana month, is Heritage Month. And so we're just going to keep doing things for Ghana. And this is what To My Younger Self is all about also, where we're just curating stories all over from the continent of Africa. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. It is good to see you. It is good to see you. I'm very excited today, but let me greet you first, okay? Before I start ranting, because Zoe likes to do that. Greetings to you. Baraka da zua, sanungu da zua, yaya de kakwana lafia. It is good to see you. I am so thankful that you are here. I just greeted you in Hawaza. Ken tuma fuduwela. Tepose wanambaraka. It is good to see you. Tuma awela. I just greeted you in Kasal, which is my father tongue. Ndinao to you if you speak Ewe, Eleke, Efua. It is very, very good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I love speaking Ewe because it makes me feel like I am kind of multilingual, right? to send Akwaba to Den Yamawachi. I just greeted you in different variations of the Akan language. That's Fanti, that's Ikrapim, that is Chi, and all kinds of other variations. Thank you for joining us. It is so good to see you. Sawubonani to you, to our Zulu friends in South Africa. We love to watch you watch us, okay? Because we get to see you guys watch us after the fact, and it is just incredible just how quick you guys pick us up. You just, man, we're very, very grateful. Thank you, especially for those of you also in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. Our numbers are growing up there. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, I know you guys do it after the fact, but we do not take you guys for granted at all. Bella to you, Ibio Kibari to you. If you speak Moshi from Burkina Faso, thank you for joining us. Te Oyo Tang, it is good to see you. Do you speak Ga? I just welcomed you in Ga. That is one of Ghana's greatest languages. Ghana has over 50 something, you know, great languages, and Ga is one of them. I love the Gas. Thank you for joining us. Lale to you. If you speak Chadian Arabic, I just said hello. It is good to see you. Salam alaikum to you. I actually just kind of salam alaikum. It is good to see you. Ekaro to you. Ekabo to you. You know, someone once said to me, why do you say salam alaikum? It is on Christian. Actually, salam alaikum is a greeting. I thought I would just put that out there for those of you who are kind of a little set in your ways. Let's put it that way. It is a form of greeting. It is not. It's not about religion. It is a language. So salam alaikum to you. It just means you are welcome. That's all it is. Okay. Alrighty. Again, ekaro to you. If you speak Yoruba, I just greeted you. Nagadef to you. If you speak Wolof, my Wolof people, thank you for joining us. Jambo. Habari gani. Habari yaore to you. If you speak Swahili, I just greeted you. I know I do look Kenyan, and so a lot of people just expect me to kind of rattle Swahili, and I'm getting there. I promise you. I promise you. Kotong to you, Amohelang to you, Inyasi, Aloy Domilake. It is good to see you. I'm kind of rushing through the greetings today because I've already done 6 minutes. It's crazy, right? Bom dia to you if you speak Portuguese. Bonjour, buongiorno. Of course, buenos dias. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm excited about our guest today. In fact, I'm always excited about our guests. It's just incredible to be able to curate master storytellers across the African continent. It doesn't matter where they live. It's incredible to just be able to see it. And I'm very excited about our guest today. She comes to us by way of Ghana through Texas. Let me just introduce you to our incredible guest storyteller today. I'm always telling us on this platform that Google is our friend. So what I would ask you to do is to go on Google and just type in ML, the letter M like Mary, the letter L like Larry, 4, the number 4, life, and a lot of information will come up about this, our next guest storyteller. If I was to read everything about her, that would take us about an hour, 30 minutes. That would be the whole show. We've had to really deliberate and try to figure out which part of her bio to cut out, to try to bring it to about 2 paragraphs or 3. It was a lot of work, okay? Let me tell you, Africans, we do it big, okay? We are so accomplished, it's ridiculous. But ML Eghan is a multifaceted Scrum Master. Don't ask me what that is. I tried researching this. I still don't kind of really understand it, but she's a Scrum Master, cybersecurity, and brand marketing enthusiast. She has achieved professional experiences and accolades from 4 Fortune 500 companies, culminating in her MBA degree, becoming a winning repertoire of accomplishments within that particular agile space, okay? She leads by example and is able to garner the trust and respect of her peers. ML is passionate about the importance of inclusion in all arenas and currently speaks globally for the TEDx platform. She graduated summa cum laude from Spelman College and went to business school on full scholarship. Now that's what I'm talking about. She has earned her CRM, PSM, and CSSBB certification in Six Sigma, and has worked on several community service projects with Hands on Atlanta, United Way, and the National Alliance of Mental Illness. Let me tell you, all those letters that I just mentioned, I told you Google is your friend, right? ML is married with 2 children named Sky and Rain. She relishes family time by attending jazz concerts, movies, plays, writing blogs. She's my kind of person, and enjoying the opera. She also speaks 2 international languages, plays the piano, and loves to collect artifacts and art pieces on any given Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, like we always do in grand, to my younger self fashion, do me the biggest honor and the biggest favor. Please, please, please help me welcome the absolutely incredible, amazing master storyteller, ML herself. Hello, hello, hello. ML, you are muted. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Oh, it is so good to see you, and you look wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Welcome to the show. Welcome. There's a lot of people here saying welcome to you in different dialects and different languages. Listen, it is good to see you. I know you have a few stories to share with us, so why don't you take us away?
Okay, so my name is ML. I was born and raised in Ghana. Arrived in the US at about 19.
Mhm,
Went to college at Spelman College and then continued on to Clark Atlanta University.
mhm,
By trade, I'm a marketer. I've always been someone interested in brand marketing
mhm.
and also passionate about brands. I love to build brands up. I love to make things look big, larger than life. Like they call me ML for life because I have a larger than life personality.
Ooh,
Seem to brighten up every room I hear and to have a sense of humor and just have a passion for the beautiful things of life. I see everything with rose-colored shades,
mhm,
and I think everything is spectacular. Now, in addition to working in the marketing arena, I also have interest in Six Sigma Black Belt certification, which I have acquired.
mhm,
Worked in cybersecurity, presently in Scrum, in the director level for HP, right here in Houston, Texas.
mhm,
I also have an NGO and a private consultancy firm under the umbrella of ML for Life Group. So
mhm.
I'm trying to do it all by day, by night, whatever it is, whatever facet that I need to get myself into.
Wow.
And I call myself multifaceted, which is indeed true. And
Mm,
I thrive on communication and networking and socialization. I'm a
ooh,
social media bug. I'm always online, and people can't get enough of my posts. They just can't believe that I find the time and the energy, but I do make the time, and I make the I give myself the permission to be able to over communicate because some people are not able to do so. Being
mm,
raised in our culture,
mm.
it's as if they taught timidity to be humility. By virtue of you being timid meant you were humble. So you would hide your talents under a bushel. You
Yes.
would try to make yourself smaller than you are,
Mm,
just to be able to be in certain circles and with classmates or with colleagues or comrades.
mhm.
So I got out of that. I broke away from that as soon as I arrived in the US. I'll
Wow.
be in class and they'd be raising their hands, answering all these questions. And I knew the answers because I knew it all, but I felt a little bit intimidated to be able to speak up. So I
Mm,
realized that it was something that was culturally instilled within me.
mm.
And I would see people answer questions wrongly, but with confidence. So I said,
Wow.
maybe confidence can get me further than talent or education or skill. And once I have confidence, I can do it all. So I began to build up myself. I began to compete with the other African American ladies in my college at Spelman, and I
Mm,
realized that I can do this well, and I do it boldly, and I do it with assurance, and I do it with integrity, authenticity, and that's what I've been holding on to all this while. And I don't make any apologies for who I am anymore. I
mm.
accept who I am. I love who I am, and I think I'm fabulous.
You are fabulous. Look at you, girl. Was that the intro? Wow. Oh my God. I see rainbows all around you right now. Listen, we are all eager. We're ready for your first story. So just jump in and take us away. Wow.
Okay. My story doesn't begin when I was born. It begins when I was about 14. I
Mm,
was running up to the dormitory. I went to Wesley Girls High School before Achimota for my sixth form. So I
mm,
was about in form four, running up towards the Block D building towards the Form 3, Form 4J classes. And a
mm.
friend of mine said, "Don't go to the notice board today. Do not go there." And I was like, "Why? What's over there?" She said, "Where the general newspapers are, don't go there." And I was like, I started to run over there because I was like, why is she cautioning me not to go there?
Mhm.
So when I rushed to the notice board, just by the dining hall, before you go towards our headmistress's office, I saw boldly on the bulletin, Blamieza is dead. And when I saw that it was my father, no one had told me he had died, and I had no clue. So immediately I saw that it was Tuesday, 30th of June, 1992. So I immediately collapsed right there, and they rushed me to the sick bay.
Oh
And that would be the beginning
God.
of a triggering incident from the periods of summertime between May, June, July, August. I've always had triggering incidents because of that particular circumstance. So I woke up in the sick bay, traumatized by the newspaper bulletin of my father, and had to prepare myself to go to a funeral that I wasn't prepared for. I was just a teenager, and it was so devastating to me that I couldn't even look upon my dad when I went to the funeral
Let,
because
let
I
me
didn't want to believe that it happened.
let me backtrack you a bit. So no school authority knew
I
who you
don't
were.
know if they knew or it was broken by the media first, but it was that day that I saw it on Tuesday, 30th of June, 1992.
Wow.
And I was in Form 4 in Wesley Girls High School. And my life dramatically changed when he passed away. We went from one extreme to the next, from extreme lavish wealth to extreme poverty. And not only that, in terms of the way I was received, those who loved him would love me, those who hated him would hate me. I fought to find my identity through so many myriads of ways that I could prove to people that this is me. Hey guys, it's me. I'm just ML. And that's why I've gone by the moniker ML, to not let a father's name define my identity.
Someone just asked that. What does ML stand for? Wow.
Yes. So I'm not just defined by a father's identity, by being a Blamieza or a Brookshire or an Egan or whatever name I am called, or even an ex-husband's name or a husband's name. I'm just ML simply as I am with my own identity. Get to know me outside of all the nuances of whatever it is you think happens to evolve or revolve around who I am.
Wow.
That's what the moniker means so much. And someone named me ML for life because they said I have a larger than life personality when they were trying to get me a talk show on TV3 in Ghana. So he named me, and I've been ML for life since. But it's just basically to show that even with all that was taken from me, I still have life, and I
Hmm.
have breath, and I have the ability to do so much more. And when I grew up and was much older, I'll tell you the next story of what happened when I was about 29, 30 in Atlanta, Georgia, and how this whole comes full circle as to what happened to me when I was a teenager.
Wow. Oh my God. I have goosebumps. This is, I'm glad you're sharing this story with so much, um, almost like a free, you've been freed from it. And so that is great. But this is a caution. There's something that even in this, I mean, we just shared that Ghana is 66 years old, and this is not a Ghanaian situation. It's an African situation. We don't know how to break the news that someone has passed away. Most of us don't know how to do that, especially when it comes to kids. We just assume they should be okay. They're just a child. They don't have any emotions. I mean, how can Zoe, don't do it. I always go into these runs when something gets me. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That was just uncalled for. And the most, wow. You know, the chat room is buzzing, but we're just gonna let you keep going.
Okay.
Yes, wow.
So the second story is when I got to America, they assessed me at $1.2 million in assets for my four multiple properties that I had in terms of my home on half an acre of land in Douglasville, Georgia. I was married with 2 children, ages 6 and 3 at the time. And I was working with a six-figure job salary. I'd finished my master's degree working at GE, and I was a Six Sigma black belt, and I was struggling with analytical work to do. So I went into business. That all failed. I couldn't pay my mortgage, and my ex-husband and I had separated. It's as if as soon as he took his feet out of the home and I had asked him to leave, everything started falling apart. So I lost the first home. They threw all my things out on the lawn. And it was the 6th of June, 2006. As if the omen, 666, just like that.
Everything happens in June.
Yes.
You
Yes,
did.
for me, June. So 666 was the date. And I came, the sheriff banged on the door. They threw everything out. And the kids and I, we just picked up pictures and little things that we could put in my vehicle. And we moved away. I didn't have any money to tow anything anywhere, send them anywhere. I saw the neighbors coming to look through my items as I drove away with the children. So we proceeded to call a couple of people. I called a few people. They were like, oh, we can't hear you. And that wasn't even WhatsApp calls. It was regular calls. Nobody wanted to be bothered. They were like, maybe I'm in trouble. Maybe I've done something fraudulent or in some kind of drug thing. So they were like, oh, we don't associate with her. And no one would take my call or even give me help at the time. So I proceeded to sleep in the car with the children. We go to Walmart, we clean up a little bit there. Then we go back in the car. And it's funny because
I'm sorry, hold up. How old were you at this time?
I was about 29 at the time, and the kids were 6 and 3. My daughter's name is Sky, like the sky above, and then Rain. So Sky was 6 and Rain was about 3. And now, as we were running around in this car with a few items in the vehicle, and ironically, the car was a Mercedes, brand new Mercedes-Benz ML 350, tagged ML for ML.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. So here I am in this car that's just defining who I am, but intrinsically not really definitely at the point in time. So we were on the highway when the police stopped us, and they said I had a broken taillight. When they stopped us, they run my license and registration and said, Mercedes-Benz or Buckhead needs their vehicle. You're owing on the vehicle. We need to repossess this car. And they repossessed the vehicle and they walked us to the nearest shelter in Fulton County. When we got to the shelter.
Wait. They right on the spot?
Yes. They needed their vehicle. Yeah.
They didn't give you grace period? Wow.
Nothing. So we went to the shelter and they gave us one blanket for the 3 of us. And they said if you had more than 3 kids, you could be in a room. But until further availability, I had 2. So we would be on the floor until they could find us a place to sleep. So my daughter and I would talk in the night, and then we covered my son with a blanket, and it was a bit chilly in the air conditioning. So we would speak up and talk and then not be able to rest. So one day she was like, but mommy, grandma must have money. Grandma is rich. Doesn't grandma have money? And so I quickly went to the security guard upon her insistence. And I said, can you lend me $5? That time we used to have the CTA calling card. Mm-hmm. So I borrowed the $5 and bought the card. And then I began to call my mom. I had never told her what had happened. I was so embarrassed and ashamed of my life being over. Because I'd lost all the money too, not just the assets. So I went to bankruptcy court. They banged the gavel and they said I had 0 to my name. I didn't own anything else. So I said, Mommy, I lost the house and everything. She was like, stop the jokes. Maramaboho, Nancy, your housewarming. I said, Mommy, housewarming, no JJ. Oh, yeah, housewarming at some year. I said, listen, the houses are all gone. Everything is gone. I don't have any money to my name. I'm in a shelter. She said, no African child should be in any shelter in America. And we don't have shelters here. So that husband of yours was a kind man. Find him wherever he is and plead with him to take you and your children in till I come for those children, because I know how you are. Once I get the kids, you will rise up again. Okay. So I began to call all the numbers of everyone I knew in Louisiana, his siblings who loved me so much. And I said, how can I find Alvin? How can I find Alvin Ray Brookshire? I have to find him. So finally, he was in East Point. I got there with the kids and he took me in and began to tell me about how material things are not important, how I've been fighting for the wrong things in life. Now I was listening like this. I think so. Girl from Africa, what are you coming to do with material things? So I listened and listened. My mom was worried. She was like, how can she get someone over there? So she called my aunt, one of my favorite aunties, and she rushed to me. She's called Audrian. So Auntie, Auntie, we call her Bunch. Auntie Bunch rushed to me and she said, ML, do you remember when I came to your husband's apartment? We they said we can't hear you. Yes, yes, on American phone. Someone is asking. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And not WhatsApp. So my
Yeah.
aunt said when she came to the apartment, she said, do you remember, ML, you had turned your wig around inside out,
Mhm.
turned it around. And I didn't even know that the wig was turned around inside out, back to front.
Oh
And
my
I'm
God.
talking to her like everything is normal. And she said, oh my God, because she's a social welfare person, she knew that I was clinically depressed by that time. So my mom did indeed come for the children. I went to New York, and it's so funny because we're flipping a coin. I was like, if it's heads, I'm gonna go to New York. If it's tails, I'm gonna go to California. That's where people start their lives over. And it was
You
heads.
just flipped the coin.
Yes, and then it was New York, and I said, "Okay, Auntie, I'm coming with you." So I went with her, but I began to hallucinate when I was with her. I was so traumatized and stressed that I was hallucinating that somebody is trying to attack me, somebody wants to kill me, somebody wants to take my life away, my children. So I just rushed one day out of the house and I was on the street. And this taxi driver was like, are you okay? Because she was removing my braids and I had half of my braids removed, other half not removed. And I was out there with nothing covering my head. And the guy was like, from Africa, he was like, sister, are you okay? I said, I'm okay. Take me to the nearest hotel. Somebody's trying to kill me or something. So when I got to the hotel, because they are trained by virtue of how they see you, they knew something was wrong, but they still took my credit card and then let me stay in the hotel room. So I sat on the bed. I couldn't even sleep. I just heard all these sounds, like my father speaking to me. I heard all these things. And I woke up in the morning and then I went downstairs. They had already called the ambulance that there was something wrong with this lady who came to stay at the hospital. So when the ambulance got there, they said, what is your name? I said, ML Brookshire. They were like, where do you live? I said, 32 Woodcrest Road, Staten Island, New York, 10303. They said, what day is it? I didn't know what day it was. They said, what is today's date? I said, I don't know. Who is the president? I was thinking, could it be Jimmy Carter? I couldn't even begin to tell them anything current. So what I was saying was from memory, my address, who I think I am, my name, but I couldn't tell anything in the present time frame that I was in. And that's how they used to assess how far your mind or your depression or whatever's happened to you has gone. And they quickly put me in the ambulance and took me to the nearest hospital. So I woke up there. And it's funny, I made some friends in the hospital, and there was a guy who was cleaning the hospital called Che from Ghana. He was like, hey, what did you power? How? We should say, baby, yo. What did you power? I said, no, but I'm hungry. What should I eat?
You didn't know.
No. You just need to go to Ghana. Go to Ghana, go Pentecostal church. Everything is okay. Hano, they just give them medicine here and then they keep them in the hospitals. It's the pharmaceutical way. Me, they from Che, we call Ghana. What's it? So my mother came. Che proceeded to tell her also that nothing is wrong with me. Now I eat spa in the cafeteria. Okay. So when I said, when I came again, so my mom went to the doctor, and the doctor said, your daughter is bipolar. And that's how they labeled me in the hospital. I think it was about March 15, 2007. So when my mother said, no. And when I heard the word bipolar, it's so funny because at my graduation at Clark Atlanta University, the person who came to speak was the gentleman who created CNN, you see?
Yeah.
So because of that, he had mentioned that he was bipolar and went somewhere and had this event where he began to see things and he came up with the whole CNN idea, Ted Turner. So I thought bipolar was a positive thing, like maybe celebrities and rich people, wealthy people, they have this kind of epiphany. So I was like, okay, bipolar. I'm very intelligent. Maybe I'm bipolar. So mother was like, bipolar, no, we don't do that in Ghana. We don't have no bipolar, nothing. So I just need some good soup. We're going to Ghana, drink some soup, and that's it. So my mom took me to Ghana and she threw all my medications away. And then we began to go to all these prayer camps.
Oh my God.
Yeah, then I'm there. So when we got to one prayer, I think I went to about 6. When we got to this prayer camp in Mount Fair, I won't mention the prophet's name. I was still, even when I was ill and I was depressed, I still had some life in me. So I was still leading in choir and supporting in the prayer camp. So the pastor called me and said he had seen a vision that he has to marry me second wife. and I'm the one. You marry second wife. I said, what? So my best friend at the time, she rushed and called my mom. She said, hey, they want to marry her and all here. Oh. So my mother came and rushed me from there, and she said, that's it, no more prayer camp. So she asked
Oh
me,
my God.
what are we doing now? And I said, I think I need to go back. I need to go and face all of this, whatever is happening with me. So I got a ticket, one-way ticket. And this time, because I'd been in a shelter, I went straight to New York, JF Kennedy Airport, and then went to Jamaica, Queens. I said, I don't have kids. And I'm a mother that needs to get back on my feet. And that's how I got into the shelter. So I'll let you speak a little, and then I'll tell you about the shelter story and how I picked up from there to where I am today.
I have nothing to say. I'm just so enthralled. I mean, the comments are just coming in. I just saw one comment and this would probably take us a little further back, but Dr. Vivian, who is in Florida right now, was reacting to one of your part of your story. And well, let me tell you, the comments are going so fast, we can't even get it. But okay, well, let's see. Let's find Mola Mutavi, whose name I can't never really say. And she's one of our producers. She says, I can't believe no one at the school administration called her aside to break the news to her. Just horrible. And then, of course, Elsie Dixon kind of has an answer for that, which was interesting. She says, I think those days the newspaper girl's job was independent of the school administration. After that, newspapers were released from the school office. It was really sad. Oh, okay. So I think Elsie kind of was there, and she kind of also knew this story. But so just so many people commenting is just incredible. It's just incredible. Elsie says it's funny now, but it must have been very, very traumatic. Yes, it's amazing that you're smiling. Dr. Vivian, this is the story, the comment I was looking for. She says, wow, same story for me. Oh, my friends will not let me stay in a shelter when I brought the subject up. You know, there is one thing I kind of also know about Africans, even though there's like a general disposition that when we travel outside, we don't necessarily like to help each other. I beg to differ in that particular way. I think in sometimes, especially when you find yourself in a tight African community, we do like to help each other. Especially when those people you call friends are like right there with you. Even if it's one bedroom, I've seen many, many times where there's like 2 bedrooms and there's like 10 Africans living in there, and every single one of them is on a journey to become better. You know, so I definitely agree with Dr. Vivian. A lot of us have good friends and good family members who say, no, it's not over yet. Just come, it's right here.
I think it could be the timing when you're very young and you've just arrived.
Mhm.
You haven't made those relationships yet
Yes.
as strong as they need to be.
Mhm.
Now, nothing can happen to me because I have a tight knit circle of
Yeah.
friends who love me. But at the time, when I was much younger, if you remember those days, everybody was your friend. You
Mhm.
thought everybody cared about you. And so
Mhm.
maybe I didn't have those kind of networks, or I didn't have that network
Relationship.
or those relationships that I had built to be able to reach out to people and have them be there for me. But like I was saying about the story, when I did get to New
Mm.
York, I was with the Africans. People were doing drugs, cocaine, whatever, weed smoking. And so the African people, the African girls there, they were just in a hurry to kind of get out of there as quickly as they could. So we'll just wake up, they'll say their prayers, we rush to the library. As soon as the library opens by 8 or 9, we are there in line. We will do our
Wow.
resumes, we do everything. And I remember I didn't have money for a cell phone, so I just put the pay phone number on my resume. So one day this lady was like, who the hell is this ML Brookshire bitch? She gets all these damn phone calls on this payphone.
We're gonna bleep that word out, but yeah, I can.
So I said, why? She said, you get all these phone calls. So I remember that, of course, because the payphone is on my resume. People are trying to reach me for a job. So she said, stay one day, stay. So I stayed in the dormitory, and the first call I got was from Wall Street, and they wanted to interview me. They said they loved my resume. They had a marketing consultancy position at Bear Stearns, and they wanted to interview me. So if you remember, at that time was the financial downturn period, like 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
So I had the interview, and I didn't have a suit. and I had this red inner. So I went to Goodwill and I had to change the interview time 3 times because every time I go to Goodwill, I couldn't get a matching skirt to match a jacket because of my size.
My God.
I couldn't get clothing. So I was like, oh my God. So I'll change the interview date. And then finally I went one day, I got a black jacket, black skirt, put my red inner, and I began to go towards Wall Street for the interview. So when I got there, I was so drained, so fatigued. And I told the lady that, look, if you hire me, you're changing a life. My kids are waiting for me in Ghana. They can't wait to come back to America. I'm the hardest working person in every room you put me in. And I heard I'm really smart too. You have to just bank on me and know that it's true. I have a high IQ, whatever it is, whatever it takes. And I told her my story about how I'm in a shelter, how I took the train to get there and everything. And I said, just give me an opportunity and I'll never let you down. And she was so touched by everything that I said. And she believed in me. And she said everything that I stated, from my resume to my career to I had the fortitude and everything that she needed and resilience for the role at hand. So when I was going, I didn't have the cell phone. When I got to the dormitory and all, I just began to pray and pray and pray that something positive would happen. And when she called back on the line, she was like, they've offered me the role. It was twice the salary of my GE job. It was much more money. And
Wait, what the? Ooh,
yes, I know, right?
what?
So it was so much money. And I gave $500 to all my girlfriends at the dormitory for them to blow and also get out of the shelter. Then we rushed to Harlem and I began to pick the fanciest apartment I could find in Harlem. And the lady happened to know somebody at Ebony, a comrade of hers or a friend or something. And she told them the story. And then they did this whole welfare to Wall Street thing. And they came to my apartment in Harlem. I put the kente behind the couch with the Miles Davis above because I love jazz. And they interviewed me. And when Obama was on the cover in 2008, I was on page 108. So my mom was telling people in Ghana, hey, Mubano wa Ebony magazine. And then my auntie was like, hey, Mubano is in it. Oh, no, bipolar, no, so true.
Oh God.
You hear it doing it be, hey, Mubano is it. On this way, achieve on them pim keke. So my aunties were all like, wow, wow, wow. So that's when people were like, oh, maybe there's not a downside only to mental health challenges, but there's also a positive side to what people can do if they're able to. But then I always preach medication treatment because when I wasn't on medication, I'd go out spiral, up and down. And oh yeah. Someone says, tell them about the numerous books you read. I read in the 2 weeks I had read like 47 books in the
Wait,
library.
in the 2 weeks when you were going to the library?
I read
Oh
all
my
the self-help books, especially one by Joe Vitale, who was also once homeless, is the one that inspired me the most. And I got to meet Joe Vitale in person in the flesh when I got older. That's the whole story, the best part
Wow.
about it all. But long and short, this person who said that she knows me so well, she's one of my closest friends in the UK. So
Oh,
she's told
yes,
this
I
story
know
1,000 times. She's like,
welcome to the show,
yes,
Sheila.
yes.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's how I got into my Harlem Affair. My mother brought the kids, and they were so excited and all. And yeah, the next story will be Uganda. How I got to Uganda to be a chief marketing officer by the time I was 32
This
before
is
coming back to the US.
incredible. What a fantastic, phenomenal stories. You know, when they do biopics, and, you know, as a filmmaker, I kind of get this so much. It's almost as though I'm watching a movie. And so you start the movie, and then there's like this person is on a high, they're on a high point, everything is going well for them, they're well set up. And then in one day, there's like a sword that is cut through their life in one fell swoop. Everything is crushed. And then, of course, that's the meat of the story, right? They go through all these challenges. It's almost as though they're never going to rise again. And then one day, the same thing that happened a few years ago when they lost everything, they recover everything in one day. What a fantastic story. I'm telling you, the audience is cheering up. Someone, Auntie Dora says, from ashes to glory. Audrey says, levels don't change. Honesty is the best policy. Honestly, I believe that it was the way you pitched yourself. You weren't there to say to the lady, hey, these are my qualifications. You literally said, listen, I need to eat.
Yeah.
There's other lives depending on me. I have kids. I can
Yes.
work 24 hours a day if you
Yes.
need me to work, but
Yeah.
please give me this chance.
Yeah.
And that's something that most Africans, we have to start to learn. Let us just learn how to just barge into doors and say, what opportunity is there? Can you give me? And
Yes.
I love that, because that's what you, in the beginning of your storytelling, you talk about confidence and how you just decided you're just going to be confident. And I believe it served you very well. Oh my
Yes, it
goodness.
has. It has. But I do want to say one thing.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't seen failure yet. And the reason why I say that in terms of what people consider as failure, I have all these goals and dreams. But
Mhm.
the interesting thing is that if you don't stop what you're doing and you never give up, you will never know if you failed. You see,
Mhm.
I could be dying and
Mhm.
I'd never know that I didn't succeed or get the one job or the one thing that I really wanted. It's because I didn't stop looking for it. I didn't stop striving for it. And because you don't stop striving, you keep moving, you can't tell if you're doing badly, because you just
You're
haven't.
moving.
You're still moving. You're still full of life. And so all my goals and dreams, I don't have a timeline to them as to I have to achieve them on this date or at this point in time. They are endless goals and endless things that I must do before I pass on. So the sky is the limit, like I always tell Sky. And then for rain, I say, don't rain on my parade. Those are the taglines. And it's so interesting because I've seen the worst already.
Mhm.
You still have to wonder about ever losing your home, your car, your this possessions. I've got it. It has happened already. So I don't have this fear or shame or sense of entitlement. I just go through life because nothing can bring me down the
Mhm.
way that that brought me down. So if it's a husband, I've lost one before, that kind of thing. It's like,
Like, you've been there, done that.
I told my church, one of my pastor friends, I was telling him that if it's the husband, it's the car, it's the house, God brought all those back to me. Yes, it took a while, but I still have those things again. So it's
Mhm.
not like the things are being taken forever. So just wait it out. Your time is coming when those things will be replenished and they're going to come back to you. And it's like, you don't even have to worry because it's a matter of time. And like they always say, this too shall pass, because good things shall pass and bad things shall pass. When good things happen to me, Zoe, you won't believe it. I chill, I enjoy myself, and I go overboard. And the people will be like, but why is she posting? And we should watch her in the bathroom. We should watch her in the bedroom. I said, you'll be there. It's not going to last for long.
So I'm gonna take it all in.
Yes, because it's not going to be, you think this thing is going to last for long. As soon as the good news comes, there's bad news come. Either somebody is dying or sick. So for me, when the good times come, oh my gosh, I'm out there, I'm living it up, and I'm doing everything possible because the bad time, and then that's why I have the strength and the fortitude to deal with the bad because I've enjoyed the good. So when the bad things happen, from my perspective, I have endurance, I have resilience, I have tenacity. I can take it on because I'm always happy at my best, in my best self. And so I can always take on more than I can, I bite more than I can chew anyway. So I can take on a lot more.
And then you say, well, it's a bad time. This one too will pass.
Yes, yes, yes.
Weeks, or that's a very great perspective to look at life. Like, life is cyclical. There's good and then bad and then good again and bad again. It's always like that. That
Yeah.
is so interesting. And you've dropped a few nuggets like right now that I am just like blown away. It's incredible. My goodness. I know, Sumaya, please, communication lead, I need you to start hashtagging some of these things ML is saying. Okay. Like hashtag I've seen it all. Okay.
Yeah. And my children,
Hashtag I
it's
enjoy
funny because the same children are
my.
now 23 and 20. These same little
Whoa.
kids. Yes. I married very young. So they're grown ups, they're in college, they're thriving, and they've seen it all also. Because when I was not well, my son would always pray to God that mommy would be well. And at that time, I wasn't on good medications because I couldn't get the great ones when I was in Ghana. So
Mhm.
for 7 years, I would be ill all around the May, June, July, August timeframe. It would trigger me, and I'd be in a hospital every year. I was in a hospital. My mother would take care of me. So she literally raised my children when I was ill. And so, to the glory of God, now I don't go to the hospital anymore. Even if I get depressed or sad, it's like I'm able to keep an equilibrium and be balanced enough to be able to. I'm still bubbly and vivacious and vibrant, but when I do get depressed, I won't cry and cover my head and not go take care of my functional duties. But
Mm.
before, I wouldn't be able to get out of bed with all my brightness and the light within me. I'd cover up and then my mom would say, let's go sprinkle some water on her. Let's do this, let's do that, and it wouldn't work. You see, it wouldn't work because it
Wow.
was it's like a mental shift. And people think bipolar is madness. It's
It's
more of
not.
schizophrenia. That's a mental disorder. You see, bipolar is a mood disorder. It just has to do with your mood. So if you make me happy, you're gonna get the best out of me. If you make me sad, I'm gonna recoil, and then be in my depressed state. But even that, I still have 80% of mania and 20% depression, because by personality, being an extrovert, I'm higher than I am low. So some people may suffer and it will trigger them, and they have more depression than they have mania or excitement or positivity. So they might be in bed all the time. So because I'm ambitious by nature and I'm a go-getter, they were saying things like abodamenyika, like I'm intentionally pretending to be ill to get
Oh,
things my way. But of course, it's funny because they think that how can she be so eloquently talking about stuff and she says she's not well? But then I would write, but the way to tell? The content will be dark. I'll be writing very well, no typos, no errors, no grammatical errors. But what I'm talking about is what you can tell
mm.
is showing that I'm ill. But if I'm writing about beautiful things and the glory of God and this and that, then it means I'm
So
myself.
better.
So
Yes.
my mom could always tell when I would write on Facebook, the content, she'd say it's a cry for help. People start looking for her. Where's her mother? Where's her mother? All the time. Those years that I used to write a lot about myself and my childhood, and I was molested and this happened, and I'll be exposing people and their identities. Oh my God. So I wrote a whole book. Zoe, listen, I wrote a whole book. My mother read the book and fainted. Okay. She said,
Oh
hey,
my God.
it's not gonna be published in my lifetime. She said, can I just pass on? Then you write this book. She said, whatever I send, someone has one. But ensure Abraham Tase, you understand? So the book was never published because of my mom, because it shares so much of my private life and my experiences that she felt that my culture, she said, they will not appreciate this expose. They're going to be curious for the wrong reasons and ridicule you with your pertinent experiences. So don't put it out there. And she said, who writes autobiographies in their 30s and 40s? Hey, you have to live. You don't know what's going to happen in your 60s and 70s. So please don't write and publish till I'm gone. So that's the whole thing
Wow.
we agreed upon, that I won't tell my story till she's gone.
Oh my God.
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know if I should say thank you, thank God for your mom, or to say, oh no. But that was,
Those who want my story are so mad at her. They're like, Mommy, please, we want to hear, it can change your life. He said, well, let me die first. It's not
oh
going to change my life. Let me die first. So I get to tell the Clubhouse Ghana story. So that
right.
goes
But you
into
were
my
gonna pick
bio.
up from
Yes.
Uganda, right?
Yeah. Okay. So Uganda. So
Mhm.
during 2008, 2009, during the financial downturn, I was looking at this website. We'd all been laid off. And I
Mhm.
saw this website, findajobinafrica.com. I was like, well, let me try Africa too. And they had this position, Uganda marketing director, blah, blah, blah. I applied. They interviewed me, 2 interviews, read about me on Ebony magazine, Googled me a little bit, and they were like, look, we love you. We want to hire you. You don't have to come to Uganda to interview. We're going to send you first class ticket. I was rushing to get my citizenship, my passport done, everything. Put me on a first class plane. I got to Uganda, and there was this big sign, welcome, ML Brookshire. Then I had my Land Cruiser, brand new with a chauffeur, and they were rushing me to this place and a hotel and Serena Hotel and this and that. Then they put me in this beautiful mansion, paying my rent. My kids got to go to school for free. Everything was happening,
What?
and I got promoted in a 3-month time frame to the chief marketing officer position in Uganda.
What job was this? This is
I was
incredible.
chief marketing officer for Uganda Telecom. It's like working for the Vodafone of Ghana. Like this is the
Or
Uganda
MTN,
Telecom. Yes.
everybody.
So
Wow.
we're like number 4 behind MTN. They
Mhm.
had Orange, they had Zain at the time. So I moved Uganda Telecom from number 4 position to number 2 behind MTN. Then I had all these amazing campaigns. So it was a 1-year contract that I just had to do 1 year and come back to the US. And they used to call me Mama Kasana because I went to China and got these cell phones where the cell phones were solar paneled. So you just put them out in the sun. And then it was helping the fishermen, their wives, and all those who couldn't work in areas that had no electricity and running water were able to put these phones out in the sun and use the phone. So I locked the SIM to Uganda Telecom. So even if you had an MTN phone, you still had to get a UTL phone to get the solar phone.
Oh my God.
Either you're going to change your line to get UTL or you're going to get a second line. So everybody was getting on the phone. And I named it Kasana because it means sunlight in Luganda, their language.
Oh
So people
my.
just like Mama Kasana. Even to this day, I've met people who are from Uganda who said, "Are you the Mama Kasana of Uganda?" I'm like, "Yes, it's me." I was just there for a year. And so from there, Adenuga found me. I got to Glow. He hired me for Glow Mobile Ghana Limited to work on their marketing team under George Anda, who was COO at the time in Ghana. But even there, I would still get sick every year. The same summertime, I'd be in Northridge Hospital. I remember I had a friend, she's called a very good friend of mine, Kosi, and another friend, Sausan, were the only two I remember who would come to the hospital. And so someone was like, "Oh, my life is over. When I come out of the hospital, where am I going to work?" The stigma of it all, knowing that I've had a nervous breakdown in Ghana, So my mom took me again. I had to change my name to get a job.
Oh my God.
Yes, I had to change my name. So I was Mona Lisa. That's what I was born and called. And then my mother said the M and the L. Okay, so my daughter was like, maybe Maria. Jesus's mother is Mary, and Maria is Spanish, so she can be Maria for the M. And my son was like, Louisa is a German warrior, so she'll be Louisa. So we went to the court, changed it to Maria Louisa, Brookshire versus Blamieza. And true to form, when I changed my name, I got a job.
What?
Before then, Fidelity Bank, EcoBank, all those jobs rescinded their job offers. As soon as they do my background check and see that I had a mental health challenge of sorts, they all never gave me the positions. I'd be crying in tears. Why won't you hire me? Why won't you hire me? All these banks would not hire me. They wouldn't give me a job. But as soon as my name was changed, and it was not Mona Lisa Blamieza, and that's why the initials ML. If you knew me in adulthood as Maria Louisa, or you knew me in childhood as Mona Lisa, I'm still ML either way. I'm just ML.
Oh my God.
Especially when I accepted that there was something that I had to live a lifetime for and understand and appreciate about myself. I said, ML is just it, that's who I am. It's my identity. I'm no longer ashamed. I'm not worried. I'm not bothered. I don't have to explain who I am. I just tell this story to inspire and encourage people, but I don't go around trying to explain that, oh, guys, you have to get me. Because the people who grew up with me, my classmates, the ones who ate the Gary and Shuto with me, are the ones who don't even accept me the most. Strangers welcome me. Strangers, people who don't know me, are open to me because of my personality and who I am. But those who've known me from when I was a child, I thought that they would accept me the most, but no, it's not been like that. So I'm used to it. And so adversity comes naturally to me to overcome because it's within my DNA and the fragment and fabric of who I am as a person. I've been rejected, I've been ridiculed, I've been discriminated against. All of that has happened. And guess what happened with the ML? When you have a resume and it says ML Brookshire, they can't tell if you're a female, if you're from Ghana.
Yeah.
So they think it's a white male coming for the interview, right? So one time I got to this interview and the guy was like, ML, I thought you were like a blonde. They think I'm a blonde, blue-eyed person, male. Then they find out I'm not just Black or African American, I'm African. Wow.
African.
So it's been able to kind of mask my identity in a way or sense. So you get to meet the actual person. Then I'm like, boom, here I am,
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Kemi from London, she says, what blessings God cannot rain on you does not exist. Amen. Amen. Doris says, grass to grace story indeed. I'm telling you, you are lifting so many people up. Our big brother Nana Redamo is here. She says, wow. Tell me ML has a book.
Oh, an unpublished book. Unpublished book. Go and find my mom. Go and find my mom and tell her. Sunday. What? I'm writing the Clubhouse Ghana story so that I can put snippets of things that are not too private for my mom in the story, because that's also been a journey. It's just basically a mental health rehabilitation center that I've brought to life. Wow. And it's for people like me who want to be reintegrated into society, who want to go through rehab. It's not a death sentence if you're ever declared as mentally challenged. You see, it's a temporal thing. If you're on medication, it will pass and it will become something that will be a temporary thing within its time, but you will overcome it as long as you take your medication and you believe that you need it. Because if you have a headache, you take medicine, right? You have diabetes, you take metformin. Why not, if you have a mood disorder, not take your medication? So you need to understand that it's relevant and it's necessary. And so I always say that, who have you heard who has bipolar and has died from it? Cancer,
No, no, man.
hypertension, they kill, right? Because I'll be somewhere 65 dancing on the dance floor and people will be like, hey, she's still moving, It's like, this is not cancer where they say you have 6 months to live. No, you have a whole lifetime ahead of you still if you have a mental health challenge, right? As long as you're not suicidal and trying to kill yourself over depression, mental health challenges do not kill anyone. They're not infectious, contagious, or anything like that. And it's actually great to have people who have these challenges because we face so much more, so we can share more and we are more giving of who we are in ourselves.
I think for the first time, we're giving you the hashtag breaking the stigma. Okay, you're gonna run with that on Clubhouse Ghana. We'll
Yes.
just start hashtagging it, breaking the stigma. I think it's very important because a lot of people have missed out on great opportunities, especially on the African continent, because they were tagged as oya bodam kakra, like, oh, they have a mental sickness. And that's the thing that gets me. I remember when we were younger, when we see people on the street that don't have, clean clothes and their hair is a little matted, it's, God forgive us. It was out of ignorance. A lot of us didn't know what that meant. We just knew that the grown-ups told us this person is mad. They just used that big blanket word, mad. And would run and laugh at this person, throwing hands or pointing fingers and saying, ha ha ha, this person is mad. And
but now the ha 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 is when you also don't fall into that particular category. It's like they still don't take you seriously. Oh, this is a phase. She's gonna go up and down. Because truly, as like a phoenix, I've been able to rise up from the ashes. So they can't tell, is this going to be something she can sustain? Is she stable? Then when you're like me and you have a high intellectual quotient or that kind of thing, they think it's intentional. Like you do things for a reason. I'm just like anybody else. I'm an extrovert. I love the limelight. I love attention. So of course I could be just like anyone else.
I love you.
Yes.
The fact that you're saying it.
That's who I am. So you have to understand that outside of who I am, I have an identity. It has to unravel. You have to give me that chance for me to be able to express who I am and respect people. Just be kind. Don't be so unkind and so malicious that you would not even wait to see what the person has to offer, like a diamond in the rough. Get to know who I am, my identity. I'm a mother. I have children. I work hard. I have a strong work ethic. I'm a very loyal person to my friends, loved ones. It's like, and now I have a very loyal best friend that she inspires me every day because anything that I do, I'm coughing and she's like, okay, what are we doing next? What are we doing this? Oh yeah, she thinks I'm this superhuman person.
And that's great.
She's like she's always trying to make sure that I remember who I am, because if I forget, she said, don't forget, hey, you're a small woman, or don't play with you, Shay. So she always tries to
God bless her.
encourage me in everything that I'm doing. And I could be having a meltdown and she'd be like, hey, even in the meltdown, brilliance at its best. Hey, the English, the this, the that.
I love it.
So it's so funny. But at least now when I have an episode, I'm not feeling well, I don't have to go to the hospital like before. I don't collapse. I don't have the full-blown nervous breakdown. I might be high or low, and then my meds would have to be adjusted if I'm not taking them or they are being interfered with by anything else. But like I say, medication treatment is it. Whoever I can talk to out there, don't be scared that is going to, if it's not working for you, keep on tweaking and adjusting and changing until you get the rightful one for yourself. But do not say you won't take medication if it's a chemical imbalance that cannot be cured from just talk therapy or just motivational speeches. You can't go listen to Les Brown and think that they're going to cure your depression. Depression is not sadness. If you're sad and your boyfriend has left you, you're just sad. But if you can't wake up to take your kids to school, you can't function. Your room is a mess and you're gradually losing your sense of self and you're feeling worthless. That's when it's functionally you're able to say that I'm clinically depressed. But don't just be sad and moping around, can't take a shower. No, that's not yet depression. It's depression when your kid is missing basketball games and football games that you used to take them to.
can't.
Things aren't getting done. You're not going to work. You're not being functional on a job or in a relationship or whatever it is you're working at. That's when you're clinically depressed. But sadness is not to be confused with depression. But Zoe, who hasn't had a day where you can't get out of bed, you don't want to brush
Tell
your teeth,
me.
you want to do
No,
this? It's
I
like
have
women are
this
so
thing.
funny. They go through all
Yeah.
these things and they have the nerve to judge people. It's like we are our own worst enemies
Yeah.
because we're so like harsh and hard on ourselves. Like we have these high expectations of putting ourselves on pedestals, and we won't allow ourselves even just to be weak at certain times or vulnerable, But
I
that's
always I tell those that are very close to me, I'm like, most days in the morning when I have to wake up, I'm sad. I'm like, I don't want to.
yes,
But
yeah,
I wake up and I do what I need to do. And the
yes,
happiest day of my life is Tuesday mornings. I wake up with joy and I
Why
do
Tuesday?
this
Why Tuesday?
because we do to my younger self on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it now.
You know what I mean?
I have a question for you though, even
Right.
though I'm being interviewed. Why to my younger self?
Well, this has actually been shared, and this is very interesting. She's turning the table on me, guys. But to my younger self, came to me in a state of probably where you were, where I had lost a lot. I'd lost my mom, and this story is known to a lot of our what should I say, frequent viewers. I lost my mom. I was in a very bad place. My very, very good friend, who is a guy, I was the only person who would call me and say, "Tell me about your mom." He was trying to get me to tell stories about my mom that would be very therapeutic. Long story short, we kind of, came up with this, like, just come online and share some of the kooky things your mom used to do. And then one of the questions Kofi had asked me back then was, but so now that you know better as an adult, because when you were younger, we just thought, man, her mom is weird and wicked and mean. She's not a great mother. At least that's what we thought. But now I'm older and resharing those stories, I thought, man, that woman was incredible. She was smart, one of the smartest marketers like you that you can ever meet. My mom could sell you anything. Like, she can literally grab sand and tell you this is gold dust and you would buy it. She was smart. And so I said, man, if I could go back to my younger self, this is what I would do. And this is what I would say to my mom. And that's how To My Younger Self kind of came about. Like,
Oh,
back
that's
to
so
my
interesting.
younger self.
But
And
if I had to say something to my younger self,
Mhm.
I would tell myself about confidence being it. Calvin Coolidge, a former president, said, talent will not, education will not, your skills, your talent, your beauty, those things that are traits or attributes you think are going to get you somewhere. Those who are beautiful thought they would get there with their beauty. Those who were very brilliant in school thought it would be education. The
Yeah.
only thing that he has seen as an indicator or indicative of success is persistence and determination. That
Yes.
means grit is it. If you have grit, you
And
can
gumption, yes.
Yes, grit and gumption will get you there because you're going to keep on forging ahead, keep on rising, after every fall, rising, rising, rising after every fall. My mom always says we're on a roller coaster. She said, and then, Sisia, me, yes, cyber security, but Sisia, me, oh, me, oh, Marco forward, my rise will hold, my rise will have, mommy, my rise, oh, my rise bill. She said, ML and rising, rising, rising. So, my aunties always tease her. What she said she went to a funeral, and then my auntie said, Ubanazono, baby, Ubanazono, Azono. Since you're hey, yeah, easy. Mr. Henry Facebook. So my mom is always like, when she goes to these funerals, weddings that are her place of enjoyment, they used to always stop her in her tracks and ask her stuff. And I said, Mommy, give them my number. They won't call me. They don't ask the person who's in the condition what's going on with them. They ask the people around them for information. And truly, nobody does call me. So they've left her alone now to enjoy her food in peace at these weddings and funerals so she can live her best life. As you know what's on baby yate.
And see how they actually even describe it, that thing.
Yes, that thing.
As
And
though
now
it didn't qualify. Wow.
So yeah, persistence, determination, grit, and gumption. Is what I would say to my younger self, that just have that. Don't even worry about being too beautiful, to being too educated, or being too talented. Okay, people who are not like that are succeeding against all odds. Why do you think they are succeeding? They're just getting it. They're putting in their time. Okay, working hard, keep going. They don't stop. So that's why they're achieving. So all those things you were taught, beauty, talent, education, this no. Just be persistent and determined And that's it. You will get there. You will get to the finish. And even if you don't get, like I said, you wouldn't notice because you pass away and you still be trying.
I love it. And it's so interesting. For me, I'm always going back even to the Bible. The one thing that I think, in my opinion, makes Jesus very attractive to me is that consistency. When you're reading the Gospels right through, that guy stayed consistent with his message. He came with one word, the kingdom message, and he just kept going. No matter who was there or who was looking at him in one way or another, Jesus just kept saying the kingdom of God, the kingdom of God. And then talking about confidence, I think if you ever met the most confident person in history, it would have to be Jesus. That guy just kept saying, I am the bread of life. I am this, I am that. And why can't we take that? So thank you so much for bringing us full circle. I know there's a couple more stories, and you have some videos that you had requested that we would play. Hopefully this would be part of the story you're about to share. So back over to you. Oh, ML, you're muted. Yeah, there
Some
you
endorsements
go.
from individuals who believe in what I'm trying to do.
Mm,
The consultancy firm that I have is in Houston, Texas.
mm,
For Ghana, I have a clubhouse, which is a rehabilitation center. They will tell you about that.
mm.
And then also, even not just Ghana, I've been able to speak with individuals to head up areas within Congo, Ivory Coast, Nigeria. I help them go through training with Clubhouse International. And now we have Gambia, Malawi, Tanzania, and Benin. So we are 8 countries strong, all in the business of doing
Tell us a
rehabilitation.
little deeper. Let's go a little deeper. I think we have about 15 minutes more. Let's go just dig a tiny little bit deeper. What is Clubhouse Ghana? Because I know there's an audio platform called Clubhouse that
Yes.
will go
Yes.
on.
They confuse it. Yeah. Clubhouse is the audio side. They do all these motivational speeches and all that kind of stuff in there. But Clubhouse is just a really nice word for rehabilitation in a community setting. People being reintegrated into society. They are mentally challenged who have recovered or are recovering, who want to return to society. They want to go back to work, they want to go back to school, and they want to get housing. So the EEH model is education first. If you can't count your money, you have to go back to school. Then for employment, you have to do an apprenticeship of sorts, either carpentry, being a hairdresser, seamstress, whatever, or finding a job that will accept you for who you are. And then finally, the H is for housing. So employment, education, housing, the 3 things we support people with. We are in Oyarifa. I would love people to walk in. The number I have on my on this session is the number that you can call or even send mobile money payments to or donations anonymously or with your name in the name of the account number Clubhouse Ghana. So I want people to be aware first and foremost, and then the donations will come. An outpouring of that educational awareness is what we're looking for, where people understand and accept that it's not stigmatic. We have children. You don't know who your child is going to be. Then you don't know if your parents are going to have dementia or are going to have Alzheimer's. We have a long journey ahead of us, and people within our circles, family members, could get ill. Why not find out about it today when it's something that prevails? Even men have a higher chance of being mentally challenged than even women because they don't get to speak as much like we do. And also, I think it's very relevant. It's a worthy cause, but I'm just in the wrong country, I guess, or the wrong continent of Africa. And that's why we are 8 countries strong now. Like I mentioned, Congo, Ivory Coast, Nigeria have trained already, Ghana, Malawi, Tanzania, and also Benin, plus Ghana itself. Ghana is the benchmark, we're the model, and we're the first in West Africa under Clubhouse International. That happens to be our headquarters in Manhattan, New York. So you can look us up, Google Clubhouse International, just Clubhouse Ghana, or just like she said, ML, and ML for Life. You're going to read so much about what we've done. I have a dedicated team of voluntary members who have stuck with me from the beginning. And I thank God for them that they believed in this cause of mine. And because I'm my own brand ambassador, and I'm the one that has the story to tell of what I've gone through, I'm more authentically believed, and people can look up to me and say, I know what I'm talking about. I understand what people are going through because I've been there, and I'm not just choosing a random cause to rally around. No, I do understand and I get it.
At Clubhouse Ghana, it's a building, and people walk in and they get
Yes.
treatment.
Treatment.
by
Yeah.
doctors and help and
More of the therapy for those who've already gone to the hospital. You
Mm,
have to go for hospital treatment
mhm,
and be seen by a psychiatrist. But then
mhm.
after that, what next? Is the what next part that we solve the
There
problem
you go.
for?
That's what we're
Yes.
trying to get to the
Yes.
meat of it. So it's
Yes.
the what next of once
What
you've
next?
gone to the
What do you
hospital.
do after you've broken down? Can you return back to your family and society and your job? Can you? And then we say, yes, you can.
Mm, wow, that is incredible. And so I think at this point is where we would kind of, oh yeah, there we go. Sumaya just posted this up
Yes.
there. There's a question by
Yes.
Professor. She says, I meant
Yes.
to ask if this is your site, which
That is the site for our
is,
headquarters, Clubhouse International. She's founded Bingo. Yeah.
wow.
And for Clubhouse Ghana, if you just Google us or ML for Life group, you're going to see everything about us,
Mhm,
our location in Oyarifa, everything. And then
mhm,
this number, if you call it or you get in touch with us, you'll be able to reach us 24/7.
mhm.
We are available to you, and we don't turn anybody away.
I was
And
about to ask that
people
question.
prefer private therapeutic sessions as opposed to going to Pantan or Ankafo or even across psychiatric hospital. The foreigners especially, they want somewhere that they can not hide per se, but have privacy. You
Mhm,
know, they're dealing with something traumatic and they're questioning themselves. Can I do it? Can I go back? Can
mhm,
I face the people at my job? Can
mhm,
I face those who turned me away or forced me out of the position? Can I get the strength, especially those who've been abandoned? But our primary brand ambassador, I would like to tell you a story about, is a lady named Lucy, without mentioning her last name. She's always masked in every picture I put of her on my status, but she's going to be our cleaner. And the reason why we're excited is because she was left there at 16 at Accra Psychiatric Hospital, and she's 37, Zoe. She
wow.
was there for 21 years and nobody came back for her. She was misdiagnosed a couple of times because nobody walked in with her when they left her at the gate to tell people what was wrong with her, her level of trauma. And now being diagnosed, she's better. We've taken her through an apprenticeship for hair braiding. And she said, Mom, I just want to work with Clubhouse Ghana. So she's our official first employee who is from the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. And of course, when they see her cleaning, can somebody sleep? They'll say, if Lucy is cleaning, Lucy is working. Sorry, how can I be sleeping in the couch when Lucy is cleaning? So by virtue of who she is and what she embodies and what she represents, it will inspire anyone on medication to jump up and get up and not just do recreational activities, but go back to work.
Wow, that is incredible. And congratulations to Lucy. We're very, very proud of that.
Proud of her,
Honestly.
proud of her, yes.
And so here are some of the endorsements.
Okay.
Honestly, there was a lot of them. And we had to kind of work with them,
Yes.
kind of whittle it down because already we're an hour, 11 minutes in. But
Yes.
this one here is from Boris.
Yes.
So let's play this one here.
Hey everybody, Boris Kojo here, sending a shout out to the amazing Clubhouse Rehab Center in Oyarifa. I wanted to congratulate you for creating an environment that is conducive to healing, to restorative measures, to create an environment where people feel safe, they feel supported, taken care of. And I cannot wait to come visit next time I'm in Accra. Again, I'm sending you much love, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
That was really great. That was a great endorsement right there. And we cannot wait to just see when he does visit and what that might mean for the betterment of the entire initiative. And this one is for one of my favorite people, Master P himself. That tells you how kooky so he can get, right?
What's up, y'all? This is Master P, and when it comes to helping, giving back, creating foundations, it's so important being able to help our people. And ML has been doing this for a long time, and she's launching Clubhouse Ghana in conjunction with the ML for Life Foundation in Houston on April 29th. Journey Movement is all about us helping us.
There you go. Look at that. I love what he says. It's all about us helping us. But also I love Master P because look where he's sitting, man. And
I know, no limit, right? No limit soldiers.
He's like right up there going like, listen, I got this. I just love that. And this is a collaboration, I believe, that you did with TV Africa, right?
Yes.
So we're going to play a little bit of that. Sumaya is going to control that. So let's see.
Africa in partnership with ML Niblemeza, CEO and founder of the ML for Life Foundation, and the Clubhouse Ghana, the first ever Clubhouse franchise rehabilitation center in Ghana and all of West Africa, is setting up a rehabilitation center in Ghana that is home away from home for any patient that has shown that they live with mental disorder. Once a psychiatric evaluation approves that patients are indeed functional, they will have the rehabilitation center as a community. The community has a recreational center to watch movies, a play board game center, music room, gym, and all basic amenities that will allow them to wake up every morning as if they have a job. Patients can also discuss transitional employment as soon as they are able to show evidence of sufficient education to sustain a life of their own. The Clubhouse has over 37 standards with a beautiful business model that is stringent and at the same time flexible enough to accommodate all the needs of individuals living with mental health conditions. TV Africa and the ML for Life Foundation with the Clubhouse Ghana is going a long way to establish rehabilitation centers in Congo, Nigeria, Libya, and other West African countries to bring awareness to mental health conditions as we forge ahead into the areas of West Africa to make the difference in the lives of those who live with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorders, and other mental health related conditions. Come partner and support us as we are going to erect a wall of fame to recognize individuals and groups for helping us to make a difference in the lives of humanity. You can support this initiative through the following social support account and Momo number. You may donate to Clubhouse Ghana mobile money number 059 738 7423 059 738 7423, or alternatively the First National Bank Airport branch into the Ghana account 6200115180 and 620011518878 into the USD account.
Fantastic. So at least you've got a couple of information on there on if you're inclined to support. We are here to tell stories. We just love to tell stories. If it does happen that you heard something about one of our storytellers and you kind of just want to put, your weight behind it, please feel free to go ahead and do that. And so we just wanted to say thank you. There's another video that is by ML with her very cute avatar.
Yes,
and we're going to probably...
My brother does it. He does the avatars that supposedly look like me, but we'll see.
But we're just going to play a very few minutes or seconds of that. The only reason being that most of that information has already been kind of given already. But just for the cuteness of it and the fun of it with the avatar, we thought we would play a few seconds of that. And here we go.
ML Brookshire, nee Blameza, and I'm excited to present to you today. I am the founder of Clubhouse Ghana, which is the first ever Clubhouse franchised rehabilitation center in Ghana and all of West Africa.
We're going to end that here only because, again, you've heard it at least 3 or 4 times in all the videos, and we don't want to create an earbug fatigue for our watchers. But just for the cuteness of the avatar, I just wanted to play a little bit of that just so you would see. I was like, oh, that is cute. I like an avatar for myself. Professor Audrey says, God bless you for turning your life around. Yes, and doing same for others, ML. This is much needed in our motherland. I hope your services are affordable for all income classes. I like that Professor did that. She turned a comment or a statement into a question without even trying. So she's actually really asking, are these amenities and all that, is it affordable?
Yes. Yes, it is. And even those who come for therapy, it's at no charge to them for them to walk in and get the services rendered for them. So definitely, and the rates are comparable to the psychiatric hospitals of Pantan, Accra Psychiatric Hospital, and also unclefold, and we don't turn anyone away if the person needs help. So
Mm.
everybody's a case by case scenario, and it's amazing what we can
Wow.
do.
Wow. This is so incredible. This is so incredible. Elsie says that's a cute avatar. Audrey says the avatar sure looks like you. Audrey, were you laughing at me? Apparently, I do use the word incredible a lot. And so that's true. As I would have said, that is so incredible. I love that word. I think it's an amazing word. I was about to say incredible is an incredible
I'm going to ask you offline, Zoe, if this is really incredible or not. You're just saying it for the show. I'm going to ask you offline.
Well, I didn't say that, but that's actually what Audrey said. But I think she was just laughing at me because she's trying to say I use the word incredible a lot.
Yes.
So she's saying this is so incredible, as Zoe will say. But I do think it is incredible, and I am saying it for the record. I do think Clubhouse Ghana is an incredible initiative. I think it's needed, especially for where we are in Africa and where we hope to go. Living in this part of the world, I personally have been privy to a lot of high functioning people who are functioning really well and doing incredible things. Even though they have a few mental challenges here and there, they're taking their medications, they're well taken care of, insurances are working really well. And for those of you who don't know, back in the day, my side hustle I used to work in a pharmacy. So I really understand these things. Yeah. I've sold medicine to a lot of people who come through in their suits. These are people functioning. They're going to work or coming from work, grabbing their medications at the pharmacy. It's bipolar medication. It could be whatever it is that they're taking, and they're functioning. It means that a society can still be built on situations like this. And having a mental challenge or a mental breakdown is not the end of the world. Mm-hmm. It's just another something you have to deal with. Like ML said, you have a headache, you take paracetamol, you take ibuprofen, Advil, you go to sleep a little bit, it works on your nerves, you wake up and you keep going. You know what I mean? So I think Clubhouse Ghana is a great initiative, and we definitely wish you luck. We cannot wait to see your name, as always, in bright lights up there, with just doing it. You know what I mean? So ML, the last thing I would like for you to do after I read a few, because I've just been reminded that today I'm talking too much and I have not gone to my cue cards. After I read my cue card, I'll ask you to kind of close us out by telling us the last thing that you would like to, or like one statement or two that you would like anyone who watches the show to take with them for the week. And so I'll come back to you and ask you that. And so before we do that, though, we're always saying support Africans, support Ghanaians who are living wherever they are. So in as much as we're asking that you support ML in her endeavors, you support now Koa or Nada, who was here last week, or anyone else who has been on the show for that matter, in every endeavor they're in. There's a few people we'd like to also endorse to you, where Ghana is one of them. Humanity Chats by Margie Marge. She just loves human beings, period. As Margie says, she is a cheerleader for most humans. And her show comes on every Thursday at 7 p.m. EST, on social media platforms. Kua Designs, who is a fashion designer. I just love Kua and her products. Music for Your Quality Feet by our very own Uncle Fisho, Clatural, M. Sims by Mabel Simpson, Ryle by Design, who is out in New York, Nyack, Avonzige Bridal. Guys, Avonzige is coming next week. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I'm having a ball just doing this show, okay? Avonzige will be here next week and you will not be disappointed. Keys and Credo by Nana Sapon, Horseman Shoes, Caveman Watches, Kelm Beats, whose beat I am enjoying right now. I'm telling you, another initiative that to my younger self is taking upon ourselves. Actually, we're not taking it upon ourselves. We're just enjoying it. Is that we now have a roving storytelling ambassador. We're just going to launch into it in April. And we'll be telling you more as the weeks roll by. But you will be so surprised and just happy to see who the storytelling ambassador is. And she's just going to be going around wherever her endeavors take her in Ghana and Africa for that matter. And she's going to shove a camera in front of just anyone and say, tell me a story. And we get to play it. It's so much fun. I cannot wait for you to be a part of this project. You're just going to have so much fun with that. And with that being said, ML, back over to you. What would be the last thing you would like to tell us?
The last thing I'd like to say is there's only one of you. So God in his divine infinite wisdom made us in his image, and there's only one of you. You can't compete with anyone else when you're fighting for who you are and your own identity. Focus on yourself, stay in your lane, put the blinders on like they have with the horses that are on the racetrack so they don't get distracted by the horses in another lane. Just stay focused, build yourself up, compete with only the self that you were yesterday versus who you are today, and love yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Appreciate who you are. When you make a mistake, forgive yourself. And forgive others for who they are, because they just know not what kind of path you've walked or the shoes you walk in. And if you just focus on you and, you look at self-love, self-care, and you provide for yourself in the ways that are necessary, emotionally, physically, spiritually, it wouldn't matter who comes into your life, because you'd be it and you'd be enough, and God would bless you and God would be proud of you. And he's the only one that counts anyway. So that's what I would say as my last statement, to focus on being you, be you, because there's no other you out there.
And put the blinders on. I really love that.
Yes.
And also because you used my favorite animal, horses, just put the blinders on like the horses do. And I think there's just so many taglines for you today on this show. A discussion is happening and they're saying that you found purpose in your pain. That's another tagline. We're going to hashtag it, purpose in the pain. It's incredible. ML, what an incredible session we've had. Oh my God. Yes, Sumaya just beamed that up. Hanatu says, every experience confers some strength and authority in that area on us. Woo! She just nailed it right there. ML is using her experience to minister to us. Amazingly inspiring. God bless you, girl. More grace. Let me tell you, purpose in the pain. And now you are an authority. When you say, I have bipolar, look at me, I'm larger than life. It's no wonder she lives in Texas. It's larger than life. It means that you can do it, right? And now Zoe is ranting. So we're going to close off. It has been an absolute pleasure just hanging out with you, ML. And thank you so much for doing, I don't know how to do that. I think I got it. Yes. So much love for you. So much love for all of your endeavors. Thank you for being authentic. Thank you for being truthful and honest. And thank you for having no airs on. This has been just wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we're going to sign off, guys. And listen, remember to share. Okay, share on your platforms. Tell people an incredible thing is happening on To My Young Self. We're curating stories that's cutting across board. There is no subject that is too weird to tell a story about. There is no state that you're in. You can be at the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, or at the end of the story. We want to hear it all. If we're not telling our stories, who will? Right? My name is Zoe Baraka. It has been an absolute pleasure just being in the seat and kind of moderating and facilitating. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It has been fun, and we'll see you next week with Abonzige. Bye.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Kaja Ethiopia, Sudan, Waja Shong. Kaja Iguchi Shima, you know, when he me kona me waja shong. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know, waja shong. Wabe jage, waja shong. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know what you're showing. Manchester, you know Sumanguru, you know what you're showing. What's that to do?